What's this? Another episode of Five Things? After I said last week, this was the season finale of season three. And my special guest host for this episode is my partner in crime in anything that involves popcorn, and that's the Popcorn Theory, our popcorn confessional movie reviews, our Easter egg videos, and then next week comes the Pop Five. Yes, the Pop Five. And what that is about is behind the scenes things on some of your favorite horror movies. So you'll definitely want to tune in to check that out. Now, before we introduce our guest, remember it is the quest for 5,000 subscribers, and we need your help to shine the focus on independent artists and filmmakers by you liking this video and subscribing. And along the way, we'll give away free prizes as each video gets 100 comments and 100 likes. And then when we hit the 5,000 mark, we're giving away Strawberries and Scream, signed by Matthew Lillard and David Arquette. So that's not something you're getting here in the United States because it is a limited edition in the UK. And yeah, we had to go through some very difficult stuff to get it here, and half of it came in crushed. So it is something that you'll definitely be excited to have, and maybe we'll add some names to it. So Jen, anything you want to say before we jump into this?
No. I have nothing to plug. We're on all of our shows together.
All right. So we'll be right back with our very special guest.
I am inevitable.
Okay, with us today is the man from Scary Mysteries. He is a person that helped Jen and I cut the cord from cable and start watching YouTube and YouTube videos a lot further. He is a part of New Dawn Films, and he is one of our first guests on the Donna Jean's Coffee House of Horror when we first started under the Women of Horror name. So with us today is Andrew Fitzgerald.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, excited to be here. I got good 5 things ready to roll.
All right, so we're excited. So I'm glad you mentioned 5 things because not only we're talking about Andrew's film, but yes, there is an episode of 5 things that he is going to be on, which is 5 true stories that inspired horror films. So that is something that you want to take a look at. But here, first, what we're going to talk about is his film that's coming out, An Angry Boy.
Yes.
So before we dive into it, what is so tell us a little bit about it.
So this is an independent film that I funded through something called Start Engine, which is fairly new, where it's like a Kickstarter, only people can actually invest into your film and own shares of it. So if it does well, they see a return. And so I think that started in like 2018, and my buddy had done it first. He kind of paved the way, and then I did the same thing and raised the money just by, promoting it, did Facebook ads and things like that. Kind of leverage the Scary Mysteries audience. Like, we have people who would be interested in this. And yeah, raised a few $100,000, which was great. But, still an indie film. And yeah, we basically, during the pandemic, we got all the funding done and then had to plan it. So the funding took about a year to do. Then we did pre-production for about 6 months. Then we shot it in August and September of last year, over like 5 weeks or so. Got Eric Roberts on there, which we were happy with. And yeah, it's a thriller revenge story. It's about a kid who has a head injury and starts to sort of hallucinate and see things. He doesn't really know what's happening, and come to find out he is actually remembering a past that he had blocked out. He had been kidnapped as a kid, and he goes and gets revenge on these bad guys. So yeah, we're just finishing it up, and that's what the film is.
Very nice. So how long did it take you like to put the whole concept together? Was it something that you maybe always were brewing with, or?
Yeah, I'm into film. Like I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. So I've written several scripts and I've always been in that world. I have a lot of filmmaker friends, indie stuff, but I've been writing a bunch of stuff, and then a few years ago I sat down and was like, I'm gonna write something that I know I can make for sort of a low budget, takes place in the real world, minimal, all practical effects, minimal CGI stuff like that. And it's just like a real world story that we could film. So I wrote An Angry Boy, and yeah, worked on several drafts of it for sure. But yeah, and then the final thing is what we have, and that's what we're going to show. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice. I remember watching one of the scary mystery videos and seeing that clip announcing An Angry Boy. It's like, oh my God, yes, this is probably going to be awesome. And just the teaser for that alone was just so well done. That just got me hyped up for the film.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I sent you that teaser. I'm a little reluctant to share that because it's like not done and it's kind of like whatever. But yeah, I felt like it was, you get a good feel for at least what it is. It's sort of it's kind of got a retro vibe to it, which was something we strive to do. Kind of throwback to, all the films I watched growing up and stuff like that. But yeah, the positive, it's been really well received from the Scary Mysteries audience. So they've been super supportive, which has been awesome. So,
nice. I heard a throwback in there. Sounds like we got an Easter egg video to look at, Jen.
yeah, for sure.
So how, if at all, did the pandemic impact making An Angry Boy?
Filming during the pandemic was legit terrifying because, again, super small budget, and it's one of these things like once you're lining things up, so you're paying for locations, you're paying for rental gear, you're paying for cast and crew, you're paying for all this stuff, and it's not like if something were to if there were to be a coronavirus breakout on set, or even one person got it, quite possibly like the film wouldn't have gotten made. So it was sort of an everyday thing. Luckily, by the time we filmed, it was that summer where there was a lull where it was the first time everyone was like, I think we're done. So there wasn't, a ton of cases going around, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to take precautions. But at the end of the day, people are going to go out to eat and on their days off, do whatever they do. And we would test, we had everyone test before they came and did all that stuff, did the best we could. And luckily we got through it. But yeah, it was scary because, we have all these investors and it was just like, but, we did that knowingly that like, when is this thing going to be over? You can't just stop life, So we were just like, we're just going to go for it and we'll do the best we can. And yeah, we got through it, but it was, nothing. Nobody got it. So
That's good. That's great.
yeah.
Now, I know this is your second film, the first one being the Smiley Face Killers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did you learn between making that original film and this one, and how did you apply that to An Angry Boy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Smiley Face Killers, so I do video production work. That was my profession for a long time before I kind of started doing the YouTube and podcasting full time. So that was specifically written. The Smiley Face Killers, do you guys know the kind of backstory? That's actually based off of a real theory that like college kids were being drowned and stuff. And I actually was going to go do a documentary about it. Just using my own equipment, my own money, just keep it super cheap.
All right, speed it.
All right, gentlemen, let's get into murder mode. Are you ready?
Set.
Nico?
Right.
And action! Dun, dun. Shigga-ding-ding. Shigga-ding-ding-ding-ding. Shigga-ding-ding. Fuck him up.
Coming back.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, and cut.
I dug into it over like, a couple weeks and was like, oh, I don't believe that this is real, but the idea is still out there. And so I was like, oh, I just got the idea. Like, what if, somebody like myself went to try to make a documentary about a gang of serial killers. They caught wind of it and hunted the documentary filmmaker down. So that was the basis of it. And I did it for all my own money. And what I learned was I would never do another movie with my own money again. Really just because it just takes so much time and you're super limited because I don't have a ton of money to spend, It was like 10 grand and, I did all the editing, all the filming, and it was just kind of like, I was going for that Blair Witchy type thing, but, it's gotten like a lot of views on YouTube, but, other than that, real quick, there's also the marketing side. That was the other huge thing I learned. A big mistake that independent filmmakers make, I think, is it's like, I just have to get this movie completed and then it's done. But there's a whole other, most big budget movies, they spend, like if it's $100 million budget, they're spending 25 mil on marketing,
Yeah.
And so that's a whole other thing. So that was another thing I learned, to definitely keep some money in the back pocket for whatever film festivals. You got to print posters, you got to do all sorts of promotions. So that was another thing.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the marketing, because I think a lot of people kind of overlook that aspect of it, right? It's like, all right, I'll gather the money, film everything, produce the product, and then it's like, all right, it's done. All right, why is nobody watching it? And it is the marketing thing. And I'm a writer, right? I self-published a book a long time ago, and it comes down to that marketing. And that marketing sometimes is a job in itself. So it just takes away from other stuff that you may want to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's just so hard to not pull from that money when you need it, It's like, to be like, well, what's the point of having a marketing budget if I can't finish the movie,
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, that's a good pointer.
So in 2021, I saw a word that really stuck out to me when first promoting An Angry Boy: disruption. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, we're putting our ads out. It kind of goes along the lines of, a lot of comedians, even ourselves being like YouTubers. There is a wall that's being broken down, across all media platforms, where luckily the power is coming into the creators' hands more and more. And I know that Hollywood itself, we see a lot of big budget stuff because their whole formula has changed. They're very weary on doing lower budget projects, and even ones that appear lower budget, like aren't necessarily, they're like 40-50 million dollars, things like that. And so, I saw this as like, I have an audience with scary mysteries. We can make a movie. We could potentially self-distribute it if we needed to. Like at the end of the day, we could promote it ourselves. And so that's where the disrupting, Hollywood's, just the way it's always been, where it's like, if you had a movie and you weren't in with Hollywood, too bad, unless you're Clerks or, there's very few, but there are some that have broken the mold over the years. But now more than ever, you're going to see more and more smaller budget films that have audiences built in, and they'll break through. Like if Jake Paul made a movie, it wouldn't matter how bad or good it is. He has an audience he could just sell it to. So it was that kind of idea behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it is a whole different world now. Definitely. All right, so I have to ask this. So what drives you to create that darker, true to life content for your shows and for this film?
Yeah, I don't, that's a tough question. I mean, you guys are horror fans. Why? I don't really know. Was it because of the way I was raised? I don't know. I think, I have I don't want to say cynical outlook on life or anything, but you know what it is? My friend mentioned this the other day. We watched that Elijah Wood Ted Bundy movie.
Okay.
Have you seen that one? He does the interview. It's like based off of real tapes where there was some journalist who got in with Ted Bundy and they had like a very good rapport. Anyway,
I watched it.
okay. It was pretty good, right? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the point is, he was like, why? Why do we like watching this? And it's like, you like learning about serial killers. You like learning about like the darkest things that people are capable of, because at the end of the day, they're human beings, and it's inside all of us. Like whether, we're all capable of doing that. Not that is this getting too dark?
No, that's fine.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it's like you're seeing a fellow human being doing like monstrous things, and it kind of blows your mind. It's like, wow, like that, like what is that guy doing? That's real life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the crazier the stories get, all the famous killers, you just hear what they've done, storing bodies in fridges so they can cook them later. You're just like, my goodness, like insane. So I don't know. So that's just always fascinated me and many other people. And so, yeah, I like digging into it and like writing movies that are dark and, yeah. Don't really know why, though.
I think realistically, like horror pulls emotion out of people and pulls a variety of emotions out of people that no other genre can do, which is nice. So it can make you scared, it can make you happy, it can make you laugh, and then it can truly terrify you with some of the stories that we'll be talking on our episode of Five Things.
Yeah, that's a super good point. It is, you get to feel the terror, but you're also safe, right? But you get that taste of being freaked out, which is an adrenaline rush for sure. Yeah, that's definitely a part of it.
So now I have to ask you, and especially for our horror community and any scary mystery fans that come over to watch this. So is there going to be an opportunity where you're maybe attending some horror conventions, promoting this film and, signing autographs from scary mysteries?
I haven't thought about doing that. I would certainly be open to it. I don't know. I don't think I'm at the, I don't think I'm up there for horror convention. I don't know if that many people would show, but what part of that, the Kickstarter for the final like push is, we are doing signed scripts and sending signed posters and things like that. It's something I'd definitely be open to. In all honesty, I've never been to a horror convention in my life.
Oh.
But I see photos. I've seen you guys go.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it kind of looks sweet. Like I would want to go. I have a wild makeup artist buddy from Boston who's fanatical about the conventions, and he always has awesome pictures. I'm like, that looks awesome.
Well, that's how Jenn and I met a lot of filmmakers, is by going to the conventions, and they would have this table set up where they're promoting their film, and that's how we kind of even got involved with following Kickstarters and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, you have a Kickstarter up. I've met you there. We've talked about the film. Yeah, I want to support you because you have a great idea, and indie horror is where it's at, and it's where it's always been at.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I'm might do something like that, especially. Yeah, once it's done, there's got to be a bunch of cool conventions where you can promote it, and yeah, it'd be nice to like hit up the indie film world and show people it, you know.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I bet you would have a line. So even if you weren't going there to just sign autographs and you just had your table set up, I bet you'd be pretty busy that entire weekend.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be nice.
All right, Jen, any other questions that you had?
No.
All right, so before we wrap up this episode, Andrew, go ahead, plug away.
Yeah, guys, check out my channel, Scary Mysteries, on YouTube. We've also got podcasts. You know, you can find those anywhere. And the Everytown podcast is a longer form one. If you're into hearing, you know, crazy stories, that's Everytown has a dark side. So we go into just creepy stories. So yeah, go check us out whenever you get a chance.
All right, so everybody, thank you for joining us for this interview, talking about an angry boy and getting a little bit of backstory on Andrew and making this film and what inspires him. And then tune in for the episode of 5 Things. So until the next, see ya.
I hear 2 sets of footsteps.
You ever feel like none of this is even real?
What do you mean, like the Matrix? It is so nice to have you here.
Like you're supposed to be someone else. Instead, you're just here.
How are you feeling? Any hallucinations?
Nope. I think the school is like closed for the summer.
You may hold all the answers to this case, Owen, and not even know it.
Andy and I went through it. Lots of people have. You're just looking at it the wrong way.
I'm doing it.
No, can't happen.
Unless you have a better idea, I don't know what to tell you.
I do have a better idea, Owen. Dude, these are dangerous people. As a reminder, they will kill you, man.
You're in heaven, dude. Look at this. Fuck!
How about you, Mom? You awake over there?
It's okay.
Where is he?
You ever heard of a Spanish donkey?